Good morning. Today we will be discussing this book by James Patterson, The Last Days of Marilyn Monroe. So this book here, it's a different read than the usual we do. It's not as much about productivity and business as it's about fame and success and stardom. So I just got this book for the other day from the library, and it drew my attention, since this book is about a very famous actress, Marilyn Monroe. Everybody knows her. Yet you see, however, this book is interesting because it tells her life story leading up to her death. So, shall we begin? So here, Marilyn Monroe and James Patterson writes about her, about what a difficult life she lived. She was born not under the name Marilyn, actually, under a little different name, Norma Jane Doherty, I think. And here we can see that she lived a very difficult childhood. Not until she was in her late teens that she was finally getting noticed. She was an orphan. She was orphaned when she was very young. She didn't know her father. She didn't talk to her mother very well because her mother was hospitalized. She had mental health issues. So in this book, we can see that her life story is quite challenging and difficult for a girl at such a young age to experience such difficulties. So once she was gotten noticed, she immediately got married. Once and during her marriage, she started modeling. That's when she was first starting to get attention by the media world. Yet, however, she lied about her upbringing. She said she was orphaned, yes, but she didn't talk much about her parents. So, anyways, she didn't rise to stardom very quickly. It took quite a long time to do so. So in this book, we can see that her life was was a long road filled with difficulties. Yet, however, perseverance is the moral lesson here. Perseverance is something very important. She persevered even through hardships, even through trauma, and even though she divorced her husband, she continued to make forward progress step by step in order to get the next paycheck, get the next best thing, to get the next best offer from her movie career. So after her modeling career, she was finally noticed by as an actress, and she finally made her debut as a supporting role. So we can see here that even though that perseverance is something very important, and once you persevere, once the going gets tough, the tough gets going, as they say. So, in the last days of Marilyn Monroe here, James Patterson writes that as she climbed the fame ladder, the ladder of success and the ladder of making it in life, she was she had a difficult time emotionally and mentally. She no longer had the stability of having a husband, of having a life. She divorced multiple times, and however, what always stood by her side was her beauty, her attraction, that made her very likable and very approachable by men. Later on in the book, uh, we noticed that she draws the attention of presidents like John F. Kennedy, who was rumored to be her boyfriend and her fiance. However, here Marilyn Monroe shows that even though she had a difficult life, she was still a force to be reckoned with as a beauty and as a star. So here in this book, we can see that finally, the most difficult part was that she took many medicine, much medicine. So all this medicine was truly detrimental to her health. She died from taking an overdose of medicine that wasn't prescribed by the doctor. I noticed the parallel between how much I take medicine and how much she did. So it's quite a sad story to hear about her final demise. So this story in general is one of moving uh, over your obstacles, over the difficulties you find in life. She didn't live an easy life. Her life was fraught with challenges that she maneuvered through, even though she didn't have much by her way. She didn't have much to rely on, or anybody really. Even she relied on her wits and her talents in order to attract attention. She didn't have family to speak of. Her father never talked to her, even though she dialed him up a few times. He refused to talk to her whatsoever, and her mother rarely helped her. In fact, Marilyn had to help her mom multiple times on multiple occasions in order to make by and make do. And in the end, we can see that even though she rose to stardom and became somebody in the world, her mental health and her and her emotional well-being were still at stake. She made millions and had many relationships with many men. Yet, however, in the end, her final demise was not because of a career break or a career mistake. It was, in fact, due to her habit of taking enough drugs. So, I really thoroughly enjoyed this book and loved every minute of it. Yet, you see, this is quite a feminine read, quite different than the ones we usually do. This is more of an entertainment base. Uh, we can learn here the most important lesson is that if you want to find success in life, you must maneuver through the obstacles that are right in front of you. And that's the most important lesson in this book. I've been Ahmed Hindawi, and I would like to see you in the next video. See you later.